I believe that good communication can change the world. And I want you to start making the first step into becoming a good communicator. If you do that and bring it to your workplace and to your personal life, everybody will be able to change, and we will all be together, be able to change the world, make it a better place, make it easier to communicate, more harmonious environment, and more efficient teams and workplaces all together. If you understand these couple of communication skills and things I will be talking about this and the coming weeks, you will be able to bring it to your social environment, to your workplace, to all the communications you have, and help thusly everybody else level up as well. It's a movement that will draw ripples and bring waves into all places, but the change starts now, and it starts with you and me. It's a net positive for all of us. So if you're here, I'm super excited for you and me, and I hope we can start learning some concepts and make some change. Today, we're going to talk about the basics. So we're going to talk about a couple of concepts, wordings, ideas of mine, and hope you will be able to wrap your head around these after this one session and already be able to level up your communication skills and understanding of this whole how do we communicate, how do we better listen, how do we strive for a better environment. Today's topic will be communication channels. So, what is communication channels? First of all, there's different channels in which we communicate. There's one channel on the top. That channel on the top is the data and information channel. And as a German, I really love that channel because that's what we do. We try to be objective. We try to communicate all our ideas, and everything is just condensed into that. Give information, give a lecture. That's university lectures. Everything that deals with information. That it might even be a meeting at work, right? All of that is data channel and information about the other world, the intellectual channel. And then there's the most not talked about channel that always swings with. That's the emotion channel, that's the feelings channel, that's the reason most of the time. If we just talk data, there's not necessarily reason behind why we talk about it. There's always an underlying feeling and an underlying need for the communication we're having right now. So, let me give you an example. We all grow up. We all start as baby, we grow up, we get older, and eventually we might die or not. The thing is, as a baby, you know how the communication works, right? Babies cry all the time. They cry if they're sad, they cry if they're happy, they cry if they want something, they cry in all kinds of situations. And that's where you see, there's no necessary data communicated. There's just a feeling communicated. And that's where we start learning it. And by now, you'd think, well, we're all so much older now, so much more used to this life and used to communicating between our social groups, either in school or at work or through different cultures, that we might be better at it. But it's not that easy. It's actually quite difficult to make a distinct border between this communications channel of intellectual communication and emotional communication. And most of the time, and nowadays workplace, this emotional part of the communication is just completely overlooked. We care about the data, we care about the metrics, we care about the KPIs, we care about everything that is said, but we don't care about why it is said or what is the underlying feeling behind it. We can use critique as a way to tell somebody that we don't like them, but we don't do it outright. We don't really go and tell people we don't like them because it doesn't work in our environment like that. We do it sneakily. And then we say, oh, your KPIs are not working. We don't like, a lot of the times it's more like suppressed and stuff underneath that we don't really look at. And that's where this channel comes in. And that's why this channel is so important. Because this channel, while the data channel handles the facts, handles the data and the details and everything, this feelings and emotions channel handles the energy, it handles the emotion, it handles the why, the thoughts, and it handles the tone as well. It's important to understand this, because if we only understand this one channel, we are at 50% of communication. If we understand both channels, we suddenly level up and have 100% of the picture. So here already, in the first thing we're talking about, it's very important. There's actual end results of getting better at it, and you will be able to understand more of the communication that's going on around and that you personally are having as well. So why is this important? Because we have those two channels. Those come for like most 100%, 99% of the communication that we really do. It's the data and the emotions behind it. And arguably, the emotions are much more important. Data is just so much that you can do with. But if you understand the emotions, you can lead to the data that the other person wants or that they need at the end of the day. So I would argue the emotions channel is arguably the most important one. How do we get better at that? There's lots of tooling around it, and I will, in the next coming of weeks and months, go into more details on certain tools you could use or more in-depth for really getting better at it. But we'll start with the basic of the basics, the most, well, I say easy, but it's not really everything is easy. It's hard to make a change all the time. And in some cases, we might need to undo years and a lot of conditioning behind it. Because, for example, in Germany here, we are grown up to really value this data channel. I just learned after years and years of studying and working in professional environments that the actual emotion channel, the underlying feelings behind it, are much, much more important than just the data. It's both important. We need to have the both informations before we can make a full image of it. I can't live my life with just the feelings or just the data of it. It's always a 50%. We need the 100%, both channels, to really reach something close to a full understanding. So what is the easiest first steps you can do? You could level up your empathy, or you could level up your active listening skills. Those are the two things that will bring you the most and immediate impact on bettering your communication. Thank you so much for being here. See you again next time, and we'll go into more detail on different topics. Cheers.